Orangemen from Tyrone prior to the Covenant were drilling and acquiring military skills, and Tyrone Orangemen in many ways can be attributed as leading the way into the next phase of Unionist defence. Where the Orangemen of Tyrone led the leaders of Unionism, and the Orange Order quickly followed, with drilling and military skills training beginning throughout the land. With Unionist clubs and other individual volunteering units throughout Ulster receiving military drill, training and using rifle clubs for arms handling skills. The Ulster Unionist Council decided at its meeting in January 1913 that it was time to consolidate each of these volunteering units. The Ulster Unionist Council decided that this consolidated body would be known as the Ulster Volunteer Force, UVF. The Ulster Volunteer Force was a citizens' army. It was neither a professional nor conscript army, but rather it was a volunteer force. It was a private political paramilitary body. The Ulster Volunteer Force was based upon the counties that formed the province of Ulster and was a democratic body with volunteers electing their own section leaders. The section leaders nominated the company commander. The company commanders chose the battalion commander. The battalion commanders appointed their own second in command and adjutant. As a result of this democratic process, it was quite common within the UVF in Tyrone for an employer to be under the command of one of his employees. A prerequisite for recruitment into the Ulster Volunteer Force was having signed the Ulster Covenant. From research, the Ulster Volunteers, like the signing of the Covenant, covered all areas of the social standing. Membership was to be limited to 100,000 men between the ages of 17 to 65 and would be organised along the lines of the Territorial Army. While large sections of the UVF were recruited from the Orange Order, this was not exclusively the case. Carson urged Unionists to enrol in the Ulster Volunteer Force, recognising the importance of organisation and unity. Victory comes to those who are organised and united. Those who are unorganised cannot help and may hinder our efforts. The Ulster Volunteer Force enrolment form shows clearly that they had signed the Covenant. Religious beliefs played a huge part in the Ulster Volunteer Force. The Protestant Churches actively supported the Ulster Volunteer Force and played an active role in many areas of the UVF. Some clergymen were active in the military side of the force, others helping with providing church halls and rectory grounds for drill. The dedicated prayer was to be said each day by an Ulster volunteer. The motto, "For God and Ulster," were not just words for an Ulster volunteer, they had deep and significant meaning. They gained strength through their Protestant faith and believed vehemently that they were defending that faith for a better good. That faith took them into the ranks of the Empire forces, the belief that they were still fighting for God and for right. The commanding officer of the Tyrone Regiment was the 3rd Duke of Abercorn, and the county adjutant, Captain Ambrose St. Quentin Ricardo, DSO. In Tyrone, the Ulster Volunteer Regiment had 5 battalions, with its headquarters based in Omagh. The 5 battalions, with their battalion commanders and headquarters, were as follows: 1st North Tyrone, Captain E.C. Herdman Strabane; 2nd Mid Tyrone, Mr. Phillips Cruikshanks Omagh; 3rd South Tyrone, Mr. William Coote JP Ballagally; 4th Dungannon, Viscount Northland Dungannon; 5th Cookstown, Mr. Thomas McGregor Greer JP Cookstown. As previously stated, the Ulster Volunteer Force was based in a territorial county framework and worked in a decentralised way. This decentralisation also allowed for the effective continuation of the UVF regiments if the government had moved against the headquarters staff based in the Old Town Hall in Belfast. The members of the UVF County Tyrone Committee in November 1913 were the 3rd Duke of Abercorn, Captain Ricardo DSO, E.C. Herdman DL, P. Cruikshanks Coote JP, Viscount Northland, T. McGregor Greer JP, J.B. Gunning Moore DL, R.H. Scott, H.D.F. Montgomery DL, Colonel H.G.S. Alexander JP, W.T. Miller JP. The committee was responsible for the administration of the regiment, financial matters, storing enrolment lists, issuing of Ulster Volunteer medal badges and armlets, etc. The Tyrone Regiment of the Ulster Volunteer Force, like the other regiments of the UVF, possessed a number of ancillary corps. Those corps helped give the UVF the features of a conventional army. One of the most interesting of these corps was the creation of the Motor Car Corps in December 1913. The Motor Car Corps was pivotal in Operation Lion. It was the Motor Car Corps that ensured the efficient and speedy dispersal of munitions landed during the night 24th to the 25th of April 1914 throughout Ulster. For the first time ever, careful and far-seeing plans were made for the assembly of several hundred motor cars at a given time and place for military purpose, and for their subsequent dispersal. Other ancillary corps the Tyrone Regiment had were Bicycle Corps, Medical and Nursing Corps with ambulance sections. They also had two other special corps, namely the Reserve Force and Mobile Force. The Reserve Force consisted of men over 55 years of age and men with a disability who could not become efficient in drill but could perform other functions such as drivers. The Mobile Force was organised in July 1914, and a prerequisite was that the volunteer must possess a bicycle and be willing to go anywhere when ordered if hostilities occurred. The Ulster Signalling and Dispatch Riding Corps was formed from the various groups of signallers and couriers that existed throughout Ulster. The Tyrone Regiment contributed to the Signalling Corps. Indeed, the interesting feature of the corps was that in Tyrone, as elsewhere in Ulster, women joined with the men and trained as signallers. On enrolment, each volunteer received a bronze medal badge which served as an identification disc. The badge depicted the red hand of Ulster on the front, surrounded by the motto "For God and Ulster." The reverse side was a letter which distinguished which regiment the volunteer belonged to and his regimental number. In the case of Tyrone, the letter L signified the county regiment. Armlets were also used for identification purposes. Within the Dungannon Battalion, research has shown that there were 29 drill centres in operation, with 11 companies encompassing 53 sections, each section using the relevant drill centre in their area.
To celebrate the centenary of the formation of Northern Ireland, Killyman and District Cultural Group have produced this precision-minted, bright nickel collectible coin. The front features a coat of arms surrounded with the text, "The Formation of Northern Ireland 1921, Centenary 2021. The coin also comes with a fold-out insert with a brief history of Northern Ireland. These coins will make excellent keepsakes or gifts for children, friends and family. The coin is protected by a removable plastic shell and is presented in a velvet snap-close case. The reverse side shows a crown, map of Northern Ireland, Lord Carson and the Union flag, surrounded by the names of the 6 counties of Northern Ireland. Coins are available online at kadcg.co.uk for £20 plus £5 postage and packing.